And we are back this afternoon in Ohio. A House committee approved a measure on a party line vote that will curb the collective bargaining rights for public employees, sending it to the full House for a vote as soon as tomorrow. This bill then would go even further than the one that passed in Wisconsin. And should it go through, unions plan on fighting this bill with a referendum on the ballot in November of this year. Imagine the stakes on that one. So for more on the politics of this battle, I'm joined by Chris Cillizza of postpolitics.com and Clarence Page of the Chicago Tribune. Chris, let me start with you.
Sure.
A referendum in Ohio. We've seen these referendums in Ohio before. They're one of these few states east of the Mississippi that does a lot of referendums with their legislation. This would be huge. Can labor get this on the ballot? Obviously, they think they'd have a better shot at winning this battle there than in the legislature.
Well, look, Chuck, the short answer is, I wish I had a better answer than this, is we don't know. I would say go look at Wisconsin. If you believe what Labor and the Democratic Party there is saying, they have more than 50% of the signatures that they need to get some of these recall elections going in the spring and summer of this year. So, look, the unions have the organizational heft, theoretically, to collect the signatures and get it on the ballot. From my perspective, they do get it on the ballot. And I know you agree with me here, Chuck, too. What a fascinating thing to have on the ballot 1 year before in Ohio, what we know is going to be an amazing. I mean, it'll be a trial heat for the turnout operations and for everything else. I mean, this will be as big, if not bigger, than anything else on the ballot in 2011 if unions are able to get it on there, and that's a heavy lift.
Clarence Page, look, I want to show you this Quinnipiac poll on Governor Kasich in Ohio. It's not been as high profile as Scott Walker in Wisconsin, but he's been off to a rough start. His job approval rating is upside down, 30%. It's a March poll, 30% approve, 46% disapprove. Can't help but wonder it has to do with some of the fights he's been picking in Columbus, in the state legislature here. But Charlie Cook has this theory that maybe the public isn't paying that much attention, that really it's the hard partisans on both sides, the ones that are paying attention to this fight, and that it isn't really seeping into the mainstream. What say you?
I think there's a lot of truth to that, which actually I'd say bodes well for the unions if they do have an off-year referendum this year, because, you know, just like with the midterm election here
it's about
recently,
intensity.
It's always, intensity is everything, and there will be a lot of intensity with union people, and also Quinnipiac poll showed a lot of sympathy for collective bargaining, especially if you call it collective bargaining rights.
The word rights matters a lot.
It matters a lot, but then you can get it over the top as far as over half the voters. At the same time, the state is having terrible financial problems, like all the other upper Midwestern states, like Wisconsin, like Illinois. These are tough issues. The general public, though, may just get more excited on behalf of union folks once they start knocking on doors and making phone calls.
And Chris Cillizza, very quickly, we've seen some Republican governors in other states back off of this fight.
Yes. Mitch Daniels, notably Rick Snyder in Michigan, back off it. Look, I do think Scott Walker did what happened in Wisconsin, turn him a little bit into a national conservative hero. Yes. Is Wisconsin the redoubt of conservatism? No. So good for him nationally, probably bad for him locally. I would say the same thing about Chris Christie, frankly. Bad for him politically in New Jersey, good for him nationally. Yeah.
Yeah.
And ultimately, these guys have to get reelected there.